Hello again. Welcome and watching this video. We're going to talk about trust the process. This is Cruise TV number 10 and thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this later in a replay, whatever, you can ask me questions. You can ask them live now, but you can ask them later. I'll check the comments and come back to you. So trust the process. Who has never heard that before? And very often this remark comes up when people have doubts about joining a program or doing an exercise, or like they do all this overthinking to get to a certain result. I thought let's do some research about trust the process. Where does it come from? Why do we say that, and what does it imply? So what kind of characteristics do we have if we can trust the process? Because if we can't, we have a much bigger problem. I'm going to share my screen. So here we are. Trust the process. What does that imply? Let me start with this example. This is a young girl. She's not swimming, she is floating in the water. For people that like to swim, if you're afraid of swimming, don't listen. But if you are going to swim, you know that you can trust the water. You know that if you make certain movements or if you lay in a certain position, that the water will hold you. You're not doubting it, but you're also not frantically taking a grip of the water, whatever, like holding it and like, you have to save me. Because if you would do this, you would drown. You would go straight down. So you have to relax and you have to be faithful that the water will hold you. And you know what? We know that. So we do. We don't even think about, is this water going to cheat on me or no? You only feel, is it warm enough? That's the only thing you want to know. So grasping onto something, if you don't trust the end result, turns you into this not trusting, a bit skeptical, a bit yeah, how do you say that in English? That you don't trust the person as well, probably. There is something, or you don't trust yourself as well. Talk about that later. But there is something inside you that makes you want to know all the details, all the practicalities, all the end results that all the other people have. You want to, the analytics, how many people succeed, how many people, how much more money did they make, like all these questions. If you find yourself having all these questions, then you don't trust the process. I'll get back to you. So what is it? I did some research and I found a wonderful, wonderful blog on Quora, and I could not copy paste the link. So it is here. I hope I can copy the link in the comments later, but I'm going to talk you through this. The essence of trusting the process is simply the strong, resilient, and almost unshakable faith that kept you going through hell with little complaints, only because you've been constantly reminding yourself about the end destination that you were sure you would arrive at. So yes, it is starting with the end in mind. Like for me, it was building a freedom business. So being the freedom entrepreneur, being able to do my cruises every year. This is the Freedom Cruise. One of my Samba members, one of the Samba bodies, masterminders, she drew that for me, Simone Abelman. And I was like, oh, this is so gorgeous. Thank you, Simone. Thank you. I still love it. But the essence is, you start with an end in mind. I started my whole freedom process in 2012 when my husband had a burnout. So I had a good revenue. I had my books and I did a lot of workshops and presentations, like in the Netherlands and Belgium, stages, big stages, smaller groups, more intimate work, in company training. That meant that I was on the road a lot. I was away a lot. And my husband, very responsible person, that's what people with burnout have. He just took on too many tasks. He can't ask for help. He cannot delegate, and he wants to do everything possible for the kids and for me as well. So that was too much for him. He had a burnout in 2012, and from that moment, I knew I had to build a business that would give me much more freedom, so that I could work from home much more. That if one of the kids gets sick or there was something, that no problem, because I'm nearby. And it took me 5 years, I think, and it is worth all the hustle and the grinding. I mean, I don't like those words, but it is worth all the things that fail or all the experiments that you do. It is worth it. It is all the investments that I made in business coaching. Some of the programs were fantastic. I learned a lot. Some of them were like, well, it was okay. There was not one that was rubbish or whatever. No, some of them were better than others for me. It's personal for me. But I knew that one day I would have a business that would allow me to travel, that would allow me to work from home, and that would allow me freedom, because that's my core value, freedom. Trusting the process. Let's continue with the explanation. Trusting the process implies being in the now. That's a hard one for me. Celebrating each and every win along the way. That's what I like. I like to celebrate the wins, and not being too caught up or nervous about the end or the goal you have to reach as soon as possible. I think it's good to be specific, like when do you want to reach a certain goal, but don't be strict upon yourself if it takes a few months more. Could be. Trusting the process has everything to do with you. Because if you don't have enough faith in the process, you are much less likely to actually be able to reach your goals or make your dreams come true. Meaning, if you overthink everything, if you doubt everything, if you think you have to invent the wheel every time, and you don't use proven strategies, or you don't take advice, or for what I think even worse, if you're not in a mastermind group, or if you don't have a business coach, it will take you much, much, much longer. And trust me, I've seen all these examples of people that say, no, I can do it on my own. And I think I said it yesterday. If you can do it on your own, you would have done it. Think about that for a minute. If you could have done it on your own, you would have done it. I think there's only a few entrepreneurs that can do it on their own, but all the other ones that I know, the ones that are successful, the ones that have rapid growth, massive growth, they all have business coaches. They're all in some kind of a mastermind group. Most of the time they are in two groups, or they have two coaches. I totally get that. I think I always have two. It's like you need certain coaches for certain areas in your business. And it totally makes sense. It's a no-brainer for me investing in my business or in myself. And yes, I trust the process because I trust the coach that I work with. I mean, you have to be picky with who you work with, of course, but I trust the process because I know that they are the experts. They can teach me something that I haven't mastered yet. And why can they teach it? Because they master it. So think about that. Continue trusting the process is sort of a long-term insightful thinking. It's looking at the rain and seeing the forest. I love those metaphors. Looking at the egg and seeing the bird. or looking at a baby and seeing a grown-up man. For you, it could be looking at your desk right now, or your small office, or maybe you have a desk in the kitchen or in a bedroom. You see the bedroom or you see the desk, and you visualize your headquarters in a few years from now, like some office space with a team, or maybe a virtual team. Maybe it's everything's virtual, maybe it's a new house, but you see all the things that you do now. That's your reality, but you can visualize what is your end goal. It's having faith that's too strong that you can actually visualize your goal or destination, even though there's no proof that you can actually get there. But anything is possible. Anything is possible. Don't make excuses. This week, I have attended a lot of masterclasses and mastermind marathon of my own business coach, Sigrun. And every time it's the same in every launch, every time we hear the same excuses. A lot of women have one big, I think it's an excuse, it's the kids. Like, no, I'm going to build my business next year because then he will go to school. Or no, I cannot go to Zurich to the live event because I have a kid. Anything is possible. Be creative, be resourceful, ask for help. Make sure that you do what you have to do. Don't ever use the kids as an excuse, unless you're in labor or whatever. I mean, we had women flying into Zurich. They were still breastfeeding. They took a nanny with them. So they shared the hotel room with the baby and a nanny. The nanny was watching the kid during the day, and during breastfeeding time, she just left the room, went to the hotel room, and breastfed the baby. It was a solution because she wanted to be there. She had to be there. So think about all the possibilities and don't use anything else. Don't use circumstances as an excuse. Oh, I'm so strict, I know. Trusting the process is closely tied to patience. The more patient you are, the more likely that you'll be able to achieve great things and make all your dreams come true. If you build a business, you have to be there for the long run. It is about sustainability. It is about not giving up. It's about knowing that you can do this, even though you have to learn all these skills, even though you don't master some of the things. That's normal. That's life. That's who we are as human beings. But make sure that you have the patience and continue to work on your goal. Every day, small steps. It can be a newsletter, it can be social media posting, it can be Facebook Live, it can be some other form of making known that you are there. But be patient, trust the process, and know that someday a client will come. I've had that, like, I've been an entrepreneur for 14 years now. I've had it so often that someone gives me a call or sends me an email, and then they say, yeah, I saw you on stage in, I don't know, 2012, like years ago. I saw you there. I loved your talk. And at that moment, when I was in that room, I decided that one day I'm going to work with you. And then they say the day has come. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? So trust the process and take small steps every day. Trusting the process is actually enjoying the hustle, the grind, the pain, the sweat, and the tears. It is accepting every little step, accomplishment, and success, and also accepting every failure, every rejection, every setback, and every obstacle you meet along the way. It is a process. And Yeah, it says enjoying the pain and the sweat. Um, I don't think I enjoy that. I just accept it. It's just I don't mind the hard work. I love to work, so hard work is okay. But if something goes wrong, or you're like, oh, I wanted this and now it's only that, but be mild to yourself and say, okay, I achieved this. Like this summer, for the first time, I created a lot of online trainings, but all in Dutch. But this summer, I created my first international online training. Made me proud. Was it perfect? No way. Doesn't have to be perfect. Was it good? Yes. My participants scored it a 9 out of 10. So I was very proud at the end. It took me some hustle, grind, pain, sweat, and tears. Oh, not tears. It took me hard work, absolutely. But it's done, it's ready. And then I'm like, okay, I can do this. Let's go to the next one. It's accepting the entire journey with its blacks and whites, positive and negative, rewards and pains, because you know that ultimately the darkness is necessary in order to truly appreciate the light. Think about that for a minute. What if building a business is very easy? What if your mother-in-law can build a business in 2 days and have a 6-figure launch? What if? I mean, that's impossible. And I think it's true if you are in darker periods, so to say. If you think, oh, I don't know, and why do I do this? Why don't I just take a job? I don't ever think that. I'm like, no job, not at all. Hell no. But why do I do this? Because I want this and I love it. And I accept the whole path that comes with it. So I know that there will be switches if you are in a darker place, or there will be switches that then all of a sudden money comes flowing in, people are going to find you, you get a big order for your books, or something happens. Just keep going, keep going. Then the whole sentence, start before you're ready, this is everything to do with trust. Start before you're ready means something like sell your program, but you haven't created the content. And it's a great way of having cash flow, having paying clients, and having a deadline. Because if someone pays you to create something, you have to deliver. So you're going to do that. One of the big mistakes that I see is that people think, oh, I need an online training. I want an online training because it means passive income. No, it doesn't, but they think that it means that. And they create an online training with everything, with videos, with workbooks, everything is finished, but they haven't asked one single potential client if it is what they need. So they just waste 3 months of their life because they don't know if someone will buy it. Don't ever do that. Don't. Start before you're ready. Sell it. Know what you're going to sell. So be clear about what's inside, or what's going to be inside. Be clear about the results. And I know if you have more experience, it's easier, but you have to be clear on what's inside. And then you say, you can buy this at a beta price or an early bird price or whatever. We create the content with you, for you. And then after you have finished it, you can double the price and put it in your web shop. And this is very scary for a lot. So what happens if you feel that you want to invest in something, in a program, in masterminding, in personal coaching, in whatever, in the cruise? You want it, but you still say no. And I'm not going to talk about money, time, or whatever excuses we have. We'll do that in other episodes. But if you say no, please reflect upon yourself. Because I asked this question in intake calls. If you say, well, no, I'm not going to do it, then the question is it that you don't trust me as a coach or a mentor? Or is it, and it's very often the second one, you don't trust yourself in getting the results. And most of the times it's the last one. They wouldn't say I don't trust myself, but they say something like, they use other words, but am I good enough in this group? Is my English good enough for the cruise, for example? Would I have enough time? What would my husband say? All these words. Think about this as well. This is something that I learned from Eric at Meets. I hope I pronounce his name well. And I love this. I love it. You don't trust me or you don't trust yourself. What is it? And I also love this quote from my own coach, from Sigrun. If you're hesitant about joining a program like Somba, her program, or my mastermind group, or maybe the cruise, I can't recount, but how many people have said to me, one day I will also join this cruise. One day is never. One day is it stays a wish. It will not become a reality. I can guarantee you one day. It doesn't work. You have to refocus your thinking and say, okay, day one is my starting point. It's your decision. And whether it's joining a program or it is, for example, booking a cruise, if people are really committed about booking a cruise or joining this cruise with me, for example, they know exactly when day one is, because that's the day we will embark. If people say, well, I have little money, some of them did, they rang me up like very, very early and said, I want to join this cruise. How much do I have to pay per month and be able to join you in November? So we make a payment plan. Other people say, well, I want to join this cruise. Here you have a down payment, but can you please wait 2 or 3 months, because then I will have more money or I receive some money and I'll pay the rest. If you really want it, there is a possibility, there's a way. So it's up to you. It's your decision. I know. So thank you for watching for watching Cruise TV number 10, and for thinking about this whole concept of trusting the process. And it's just food for thought. That's it. I don't have any practical tips or tricks or do this or do that. No, it's food for thought. And I want to urge you to write in the comments your biggest takeaway. What was your eye opener? Let me know. Have a great day and see you in the next episode.